Hey everybody, this is Shadow from Shadow's B-Movie Graveyard. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to clarify for anybody who's been watching my wargaming videos on YouTube. I've had a website called Shadow's B-Movie Graveyard at bmoviegraveyard.com for several years now, and it's where I review or talk about old movies, or usually bad movies, but sometimes good movies. The old horror science fiction movies dating all the way back to like the 30s, 40s, 50s, up until even the 90s, but mostly older ones. And usually kind of tear them apart a little bit. Now, it's not because I don't like these movies, it's because I love these movies, but let's face it, some of them are pretty bad, and we love them because they're bad. Now, I have a lot of friends online who do the same kind of thing, like people like Dwayne at B Movie Central, Jordan over at the B Movie Film Vault, of course Andrew at badmovies.org, who's set the standard by which most bad movie sites are set, and Mark at Darksiders Realm, and many, many more. So, to those of you who I just mentioned, I'm back. This is my first review since last summer. I kind of took a few months off for various reasons. Kind of got back into wargaming and different things. My latest review is from 1954, a movie called The Snow Creature. And I'm sure many of you who have seen it knows that this movie sucks. Sometime in the 40s, 30s and 40s, there were a lot of sightings of the abominable snowman over in the Himalayas, and the media in the West kind of picked up on that. And beginning in the 50s, there was kind of a cultural fascination with the abominable snowman in the West. There were a lot of people were interested in that, much like there was the Bigfoot craze in the 70s. And naturally, people started to make movies based on it. And The Snow Creature from '54 is usually credited as being the very first Western movie about the abominable snowman. It was followed by like Man Beast from hack Jerry Warren, which has the distinction of being, I think, one of the few films by Jerry Warren that he actually filmed 100% and didn't rip off shots from Mexican films. Then there was The Abominable Snowman, which was probably the best of all the movies. It had Forrest Tucker and Peter Cushing in it. But we're talking about The Snow Creature today, and this movie is pretty bad. It starts off, it focuses on a botanist named Frank Parrish who goes to the Himalayas. Now, why a botanist is trumping around the Himalayas, I don't know, because all he's going to find is maybe some moss and a few weeds, but maybe he's looking for something new to smoke, who knows. While he's up tromping around the mountains, a Yeti comes down and steals a woman from one of the local villages, because as we all know, fishmen and Yetis love human women. And Martians. So, news gets out that one of the men's wives has been kidnapped by the Yeti, and he wants to go off looking for the Yeti. And of course, the American doesn't believe in the Yeti, and there's a slight conflict of interest, and eventually the locals force them to go looking for the Yeti, and they find the Yeti. And now the Yeti is portrayed by a very tall actor in basically a big shag carpet. This thing is really, really terrible looking. I think they spent maybe $5 on this costume. It looks like a reject from an amusement park. One of those characters running around an amusement park. This looks like the worst amusement park you can imagine. The reject from that. It is so bad looking. And unfortunately, they recycle the same shot of the Yeti over and over and over and over through the movie. So you don't really get a whole lot of chances to look at it, which is both good and bad. People usually watch these movies because you want to see a monster running around, but this monster looks ridiculous, so maybe the less seen the better. They capture the Yeti, they bring the Yeti back to LA, where it goes on the lamest monster rampage I think has ever been committed to film. Basically, he gets loose, he runs through the sewers, and I think he scares one woman to death or something, I don't know. The movie is about 70 minutes long. It'll seem 5 times longer than that at times, and there isn't really a whole lot redeeming about it. It's boring, it's slow, the monster is terrible looking, the characterizations are non-existent, and the copy that I reviewed, put out by Alpha Video, the film print had deteriorated so bad that some shots are really hard to see, and it's really fuzzy, and overall, pretty bad. On my rating system, I gave it 2 tombstones. So check it out. It's a definite must-see for any lover of bad movies, especially people like me who love movies from the 50s. And that's about it for now. Stay tuned for more reviews down the line. And for those of you who are just now tuning in, from my wargaming friends, I put a link down to the website down below, so you can check out the site. And there's a whole bunch of reviews on there from the last few years. So thanks again, and see you next time.